Welcome back. My name again is Kwame Owusu. So if you just joined us, you're watching Good Morning Africa, and specifically this is the newspaper review segment that we're bringing to you today. I am excited about today because we've been joined in the studios by Honorable Inusa Fuseni, as well as my very good friend Desmond. Desmond, good morning.
Good morning.
Did I say Inusa Fuseni? Can you imagine? Honorable Ibi Fuseni.
The way you are excited.
I'm excited. I'm excited. Apologies to you, Honorable Ibi Fuseni. Apologies to you.
No, that's mine.
Right.
It's my junior brother. So
no okay. Problem. Right. Apologies. So the WhatsApp number is 0260846539. 0260846539. We're also streaming live on Facebook, facebook.com/Pan-African Television. Today we're going to be discussing very, very important issues here. And so I would entreat all of you to get seated, grab a cup of coffee or water or Milo or tea or what have you, and we will all have a ball. Upon Nkrumah rubbishes NDC's petition over COVID-19 cash, and we're going to marry that issue with chop chop, chop chop, chop chop. Agenda Ministry, Stranek Africa, petition special prosecutor to investigate claim. That has been captured prominently on the front page of the Insights newspaper. Now, most importantly, we're also going to be looking at the Supreme Court's decision for the EC to provide legal basis for excluding voters' ID card in the upcoming voters' registration exercise. Religious leaders reject government easing of restrictions, and it's quite clear. I mean, from Islam to Christianity, all of them, they're saying that, well, let's hold on small and monitor things before we open up fully. So these are the issues that we've tabled for our conversation today, and I trust that you're definitely going to have a very wonderful ride with me, Kwame Owusu Danso. Good morning again. Let's quickly begin the conversation with what has been happening. I mean, I'm one of the very few people who has called for an investigation into the COVID-19 fund, for instance, and how we have been able to spend those monies accrued so far. And also, with respect to the involvement of NADMO, Gender Ministry in the distribution of food and things like that, how much we spend. And also, you remember that the president said the government was going to absorb some of the utility bills and things like that. How much of it, have we been able to pay? Is it true that we've paid and things like that? So it's essentially what we're looking at is the expenditure of this whole COVID-19, monetary allocation that we sought in order that we could help address the issue of COVID-19 in Ghana. So let me start with you, Desmond.
Thank you, Kwame. Let me first of all greet all your viewers and your listeners and my senior honorable and yourself and your crew.
Thank you.
COVID-19, cash, inflows, donations, and what have you. You ask yourself, what have we done wrong as a nation to deserve what is going on in the country? Because if you ask me, where exactly did the COVID-19 funds went to, I don't really know, because we were just in a lockdown for 3 weeks, and at the end of that 3 weeks, you realize that most people were still complaining that, look, the way and manner they were sharing the foods, the way and manner they were sharing the items, people couldn't even access it. And so you ask yourself, where exactly did these monies went to? Because if you look at the donations that we got and the way they were distributing those items, I find it very strange, because an institution like NADMO, who are supposed to be responsible for sharing of those items, were rather supervising it. And even supervising it, they were not having access to what really is on the ground, or what really goes into what they are giving to the people. And so for me, the government has not been fair to Ghanaians, and I don't know where the monies went to. And so I demand that they should come and account to Ghanaians. Because at the end of the day, it is our money, it is our taxpayers' money. and donations that went into that fund, and even the monies that came from outside. It's not just to say, oh, we are going to rubbish it and say it's just one of those chop monies that we can just go about and chop. No, they should account for it, because if they don't account for it, it is going to be a canker. And at the end of the day, people will stand on it and demand certain things. And Kwame, during the lockdown, you ask yourself, how many people got rice? How many people got oil? And even at a point, they were just cooking. And we came out and said, look, the way you cook the food, you just, as if they are in dining hall. You are in secondary school dining hall, they will just give you 2 ladles with, I mean, some stew.
Some nyama stew.
I mean, it hasn't, and you ask yourself, why is this happening? And they give them the food only once.
Yeah.
And so people were taking just 1 school meal a day during the lockdown. And yet, if you look at the kind of monies that went into this peanut, so they just picked the pack and threw it in their faces.
What is more interesting is that the foodstuffs were provided by another ministry, another state agency. And you recall, when the budget buffer stock. Yes. So how is it that, because all those people who cook their foods, when they cook and they are selling to you, they buy their own foodstuffs.
That's right.
So how is it that another agency brings a budget which is separate from the 2 million Ghana cedis that we spent on the final, product, if I should say that?
So
and that is why it begged so many burning questions in my mind. And at one point I put all of them out on social media. I said, we need to investigate this. We must interrogate how we're able to, disburse these funds, so that at the end of the day, Ghanaians will know that, okay, when we went for the 1 billion loan from IMF or the 35 million from IMF, this is what we use the money for.
Oh, my son.
But it appears that, well, I mean,
at a point, it was going to their MPs. At a point, it was going to the MPs, the DCs, and the MCs.
I don't doubt that one, because I saw it in Cape Coast when I was in Cape Coast. I saw it.
So you ask yourself, are they really telling Ghanaians the truth? Because that's the simple question I keep asking. Why are they doing this to Ghanaians? You go take money in the name of all of us, and instead of us to see where the money goes to, you decide to give it to just a specific number of people for them to enjoy. For me, I think that NADMO is not telling us the truth. The ministry who was responsible for the distribution of these food items didn't do well by not telling us the truth. And so we need to have a full investigations into this. You see, as we speak, look at the number of cases we have in Ghana now. People are even disputing the fact that those cases are real. But it is going to be real based on the way you come out to explain things to us. Because for me, I keep telling people that, look, yes, COVID-19 is there, but trust me, I have never encountered someone who said, I have COVID-19. And so those figures, over 8,000 plus, and I bet you by next week, we are going to hit 10,000. But we just pray, and I keep praying that I don't get into contact with any of those people, including my family, because at the end of the day, you ask yourself, why? Yet we don't even have a vaccine for it. We don't have a medicine for it. And then we keep saying that people have recovered. You understand? We don't have any single drug. Meanwhile, there are drugs people are trying to tell you, the government, that look, we can use neem tree, we can use these local herbs, and at the end of the day, it's going to help. But why is it that they have refused to accept all this? Is it not because of the chop?
Okay.
Because if you are able to spend 2 million Ghana cedis a day because of this same virus, and somebody is telling you that I can have medicines, I can have a vaccine for it, and you are telling me no way, then it means that you are benefiting from the money.
I don't know.
That is why
I think there was a big pharmaceutical giant in America or so that was sent to court for
taking
advantage.
I don't believe in those pharmaceuticals in the United States and America and those places. We have our local herbs. Honorable, up north.
We even have core
effects. That's it. And you see, you know what they did? Because of they want to access money, they intentionally came out with a release that co-affairs is not good. And then later on, when they were able to get the money, they later on came back and said, oh, that was an old product. You see how they are managing the economy? You see the way they are managing the affairs of this country?
Okay.
I think it is about time we rise up and say no to them.
Okay. Let me still stay with you for just a minute. Let me indulge you for a minute.
Okay.
And discuss the other chop agenda ministry.
Okay.
Now, let me just read a bit of that story. It says, Stranek Africa, a civil society organization, has petitioned the Office of the Special Prosecutor to investigate unsubstantiated expenditure of 1,556,691.00 and $266,660 made by the Ministry of Gender, Children and Social Protection in 2018. In a petition copied the insight, signed by Stranek Africa's Executive Director Nite Tetete and its Director of Gender and Social Policy Adjoa Timambuafo, it said on June 20th, 2019, the Auditor General published a report entitled The Public Accounts of Ghana, Ministries, Departments, and Other Agencies, MDAs, of the financial year ended 31st December 2018. On pages 186 to 189 of the report, it is indicated that after a review of payment records of the Ministry of Gender and Children and Social Protection, 6 payments totaling 1,556,691.00 and $266,660 have been made by the ministry, but requests for the relevant payment vouchers to substantiate the expenditure incurred have proven futile. Stranek Africa noted that per the mandate of the Office of the Special Prosecutor, it owed it as a duty to Ghanaians to investigate such an act of financial impropriety, hence the petition. So this is also, you know, to bring to the fore and highlight the fact that it appears that in some other agencies, things like this are happening.
But Kwame, if the top is chopping, what happens to the down? Because the top are chopping. People are seeing that monies are being chopped at the presidency. Monies are being chopped at areas we feel that, look, these monies need not to be chopped there. And yet people are spending, people are squandering those monies. How much more those ministries? So they said, Okoton Wanoma, Anamewa. Because at the end of the day, if the head is rotten, what do you expect to do?
Granted. Thank you. 0260846539 is a WhatsApp number. Please share with us what your thoughts are on the issues that we've tabled. Let me quickly take you through the topics again. So, upon Kroma Rabesh's NDC's petition over COVID-19 cash, Chop Agenda Ministry, Stranek Africa petition, Special Prosecutor. Also, religious leaders reject government easing of restrictions, and finally provide legal justification for excluding voter ID card in registration. So this morning, what we've started the conversation with has got to do with upon Kroma Rabesh's NDC's petition over COVID-19 cash, and we're juxtaposing that with Chop at the Gender Ministry. Honorable Abi Fuseni, you are on the floor, sir.
Thank you very much, Kwame. Let me say a good morning to your good self. To this thing, when we are on, you can't speak very well. Yeah. Permit me to relax.
Yes, sir.
Relax this restriction for now and then continue. To my brother Desmond, to your technical people, the good people of Pan Africa, I think the station of the moment.
Thank you.
And the Burkina people of the South Naro constituency, to whom I always say I owe an irreparable debt of gratitude for the high levels. Kwame, I can say without any hesitation that the integrity level of South Naro is unparalleled in the country. I have not seen anywhere where people have that level of integrity more than the good people of South Naro. Desmond was just saying something about Chop. Kwame, if the chief himself goes for a weird haircut, what would the young men do? Kwame, you go to your village and the chief himself goes to do punk, some special haircut. And it's the chief. So if the young men look at the chief, what do you think they'll do?
if the chief himself doesn't have a voter's ID card or a passport for registration,
and has to be vouched for. Some level of madness.
Then imagine the servant.
You can't comprehend things that are happening in this country. Kwame, let me say ab initio that the Almighty Allah, the Almighty God, in His infinite wisdom, has elevated sections of us into leadership, because everybody cannot lead. So when Allah Almighty in His wisdom, infinite wisdom, confers leadership on you, it is not by virtue of the fact that you are the most knowledgeable, you are the most handsome, you are the strongest, that you possess the best of all sterling qualities. It is because He has just conferred His favor on you. So, Kwame, when Allah Almighty gives us that favor, He expects us to serve the people over whom we have been elevated with dignity, respect, transparency, honesty, fairness. And I say that, Kwame, everyone in leadership will account for his or her deeds. You will return to your maker and you will account. So those who have been given leadership, especially, Kwame, in this COVID-19, you steal money, sir. You are stealing COVID-19 money. If you have been chopping monies, that COVID-19 money, disease. The thing is already disease, then you are chopping disease money. So you can see the extent of callousness and insensitivity of people. That even in a disease-ridden situation, where the lives of people are directly on the line, people can take those monies and chop, and have no fear of retribution tomorrow. Kwame, I'm saying it here now. Tomorrow, any public official, any of these government officials who puts his filthy hands into the COVID-19 money and chops it, the Almighty Lord will exact vengeance on them on this earth and in the hereafter. I'm not cursing anybody, but Kwame, that is what will happen. If through your actions, state has gotten money, through your actions, Kwame, you prevent the money from getting to people and they contract diseases and some of them lose their lives, you are directly responsible for that situation. You cannot run away from it. So Kwame, I'm just laying a foundation before I come to the substance of the issue. So those who are engaged in that conduct, they will not have peace on this earth and in the hereafter.
Wow.
And on the day of accountability, they will gnash their teeth and cry and have nobody to save them.
You're very emotional about this issue.
Yes, Kwame, very, very. To see what is happening to your country folk, and people are dissipating resources that they have been put in charge of to ensure that it goes directly to the people. Kwame, let me come down to this COVID-19 this thing, and why even we in the minority ask for this thing. You can remember, Parliament was called back, Kwame, and we came to pass a number of things. In fact, Kwame, under the guise of fighting COVID-19, this government has had substantial funds ranging into billions of Ghana cedis. Kwame, I'm not talking of millions, billions of Ghana cedis. If you take what was approved to them domestically, and then the one they went for the IMF program, 1 billion. Kwame, 1 billion, even under IMF, this is 6 billion Ghana cedis. Not to talk of the billions of Ghana cedis Parliament approved. Not to talk of the hundreds of millions of cedis the COVID-19 trust fund, okay, has also accrued. And Kwame, in the face of all this, you are hearing even basic equipment. Today, as we speak, many health institutions are still crying that they don't have PPEs. Even today, in spite of the numerous promises by government that PPEs are going there, they have commissioned local business to sow PPE, to go and see on the ground. Some health personnel are running away because they don't even have the equipment to face patients who are coming in. Kwame, I'm sure you just heard that in Central Region, they are saying that over 110 health workers have allegedly contracted COVID-19. What accounts for it? The lack of proper equipment for them to work with. And yet you have people in government sitting there every day and lying to the people that they have made this thing available. And it's not getting to the health personnel. Kwame, we were here when we were told that we were spending an average of 2 million Ghana cedis for hot meals. Kwame, I'm aware, as a member of parliament, I have constituents, some of whom were in Accra here. And when I heard that hot meals were being provided, Kwame, I went to find out. And to my chagrin, Kwame, none of those dishes went to where they said they had distributed the food. Kwame, I had to go to Agbogbosi myself. I sent food. I had to send food, water, and other dishes to my brothers and sisters in Agbogbosi. When we were told that they had been, Kwame, when we went there, they said nobody had ever come there to even give them one more shell of food. Kwame, meanwhile, in the books, names of people like that are entered under the guise of having been supplied the food, and somebody will siphon the money. Okay, Kwame, if you recall, I'm sure it was about 3 weeks or 1 month that the declaration was made, but the government lifted the distance short of, I think, about 1 week short of the period. Okay, so if the budget was 240 million, and what we in the minority are asking that, about 240 million Ghana cedis, that was budgeted for this expenditure. In the first case, even the period had run short. So the excess days that were left, where is the outstanding days? Where is the money? And if you come to interrogate, Kwame, you see that if you look at the distance, you will see, for instance, a few cases where NADMO went with food, raw food, and they were in the trucks and throwing the food at the people. You saw it, even when people criticized that it flagrantly violated the protocols, because by then we were getting people clashing, multitudes of people converging. And so, Kwame, if you are talking about the food, number one, in terms of the reach, it did not reach many of the areas that they claim the food reach. Many of the people, the vulnerable people who were supposed to get the food, actually didn't get the food. So where did the food go? Was there even hot meals in the first case? And Kwame, that brings me to the issue of who distributed the food. Through the gender ministry and others, Kwame, we had what they call MPP, they have another name, MPP something ladies.
Royal ladies.
MPP Royal Ladies, thank you very much. MPP Royal Ladies were those who were put in the charge of the distribution of the food in some of those few areas that we are talking about. Meanwhile, in the breakfast by His Excellency the President, what did he say? That Ghanaians should not politicize COVID-19. Ally?
True.
We should all join together as a people and fight. That's why I tell you that when MPP is moving, they signal left and turn right. When they say look up, look down, they don't believe in even what they themselves say. Because after issuing this directive, look at what the party was doing with state funds. These are state funds. These are not MPP funds. If the MPP goes and raises funds and goes to give to each royal or Busuapenyi ladies, that is not anybody's beer. That is their party funds. These were state funds, for God's sake. And MPP is treating state funds as if they are private funds or they are funds of the party. And from then on, they directly politicize it. Kwame, the politicization did not just take place at that level. Kwame, in my constituency, for instance, when some COVID-19 items were sent, including Veronica buckets, sanitizers, wipers, all those other things, Kwame, they gave it to the candidate of the MPP in the constituency to go around and distribute and politicize it. In fact, through interaction with a number of our colleagues, the MPP, the NDC held even a press conference in Parliament where each member of Parliament on our side came to narrate experiences in their constituencies. Where even when food was supposed to be distributed, Kwame, they asked for people's party card. Some known people who came as NDC say, hey, you, we know you NDC, take your hanger and go back home. You won't get the food. Kwame. So it was clear that abuses all along, the limited nature of the food and its inability to get to the most vulnerable sections of our society, for whom those transactions were meant. They never got it. Kwame, look at the quality. Many of the people, and Desmond Comrade Desmond made mention of even some of them throwing some of the food at the faces of some of the people.
Yeah.
Kwame, if you saw some of the quality of the food,
I saw it.
they said it was just some low grade rice and tomato ketchup and one egg. Kwame, this is called a hot meal. This one, if you eat itself and you don't have coronavirus, it will accelerate the pace of your coronavirus. Can this one build your immunity? In fact, this one, if you eat it, your immunity will vanish. So you can see what they did. And costing the food 2 million Ghana cedis. Kwame, 2 million Ghana cedis a day. Kwame, it's a lot of money.
No, it's
2 million Ghana cedis.
Hey.
Kwame,
That's a lot
it's
of
a lot of money.
Do you know how many schools you can build?
Exactly.
2 million a day.
Kwame, a day. Oh.
Seriously.
No, that's serious. Oh. 1 day. For 400,000 people.
And that's why we said, and a budget of 240 million plus. So Kwame, when people feel very angry and overly exercised by the dissipation of these resources, you should understand what they feel. It's a matter of serious anguish that national resources can be treated in this manner, especially put in the hands of party activists and others to blow. So Kwame, that is rightly so that the minority has asked the Auditor General to institute a probe. And why? You see, already they are crying that there will be no probe. That they will see where the Auditor General will pass and do the probe. You see, Kwame, you haven't stolen, you are running in the market. If you have nothing to hide, why? If the Auditor General is going to probe something that you have done above board and is clean, why are you crying? You see, and Kwame, if you tie that to the issue of the allegations of chop that is going on at the gender
ministry
in respect of even school feeding and others. Kwame, in my region, there's turmoil in the school feeding program, where even fake letters, Kwame, fake letters. People have been giving fake letters to even go and cook. So even this is a matter that the gender minister herself knows. I've confronted her even in Parliament over this issue, on fake letters that have been issued, and people were asked to go and cook, and there's confusion in the ranks of the school feeding. Because, like I said, it has been so heavily politicized. It has been given to the candidate of the MPP to administer. And so when you subject all this to the altar of partisan politics, Kwame, you are left with no alternative than failure. And so that is why it will not be done properly. It will be half-baked. Monies will be siphoned. And accountability will become a core issue that you'll be found grappling with. So Kwame, I have no doubt in my mind that the Auditor General is an independent body, and that this is a very courageous Auditor General who will not be petrified. You see the logic of the MPP when it comes to the EC doing a very discredited voter registration process. They say the EC is an autonomous body. It's a public autonomous body. It must be allowed to do its work.
True.
Is that not the argument of the MPP? The Auditor General, is he not autonomous? He can. Is he not under the Constitution provided with the right to do his work without interference?
Yeah.
But that one, they will tell you that one they can interfere in that one. You see the double standards and hypocrisy of the MPP when it comes to issues like this. You abhor pork as a Muslim, but you relish pork soup. In one instance, a body is independent, it must carry out its work without interference or even criticism. In another instance, the same body that also, another body that has that same independence must not be allowed to do its work. I think that Kwame, the Auditor General must go into this without let fear or hindrance.
Okay.
So that we will arrive at the bottom of this matter.
Fantastic.
So that those who put their filthy hands even into COVID-19 funds that are meant to save people from death, from disease money to MPP, they are chopping.
Thank you very much, Honorable Lady Fuzeni. He says disease money to MPP, they are chopping. They will chop up nyafu. MPP, and Honorable Lady Fuzeni has a tell, says brekete. They chop the money brekete. Anyway, so we're moving on from there and definitely coming to now discuss the Supreme Court decision on this whole voter registration exercise brouhaha. And what is germane to the conversation is the fact that the Supreme Court has indicated unequivocally that the EC must provide the highest level of justification for excluding voters' ID in the registration process. And I think that it's important to now still start with Desmond on this subject matter. Desmond, let me start with you. Let me start with you.
Okay.
Yeah.
Kwame, thank you once again. Electoral Commission. You see, when it comes to Electoral Commission, one thing comes into my mind.
Okay.
And I want Ghanaians to know that the EC is Electoral Commission of Ghana, and not Electoral Commission of Jemenza or Electoral Commission of IEA, because there's a difference between you managing IEA, that is Institute of Economic Affairs, and then EC, that is Electoral Commission. But it looks like the woman who happens to be the chair lady or the chairperson is managing the EC as she is managing IEA. Why am I saying this? You know, IEA is like a family sort of consortium, but EC is Electoral Commission of what? Ghana. And you are dealing with over 80 million population who names are in the voter register, and you are also toiling with the hearts of over 30 million Ghanaians. And so if you don't differentiate between the EC and the IEA, you are always going to be found wanting. From day one, that is from 25th March 2019, that this woman smuggled the idea of compiling a new voters register into our electoral process, it has become back and front, back and front. From the issue of hardware to software to the issue of how I'm going to compile the register, none of these has been well explained to Ghanaians by the EC. We as the political parties, we are players in this game, and we know how this game is being played. And so for you to come and tell us that for you are going to be a referee, and so at the end of the day, this is how I want to referee this game, it is neither here nor there. We are telling you that, look, if you are a referee and you have about 6 teams playing a gala, you have to sit down with the teams and tell them that at this point we are going to use maybe a VAR, we are going to use a whistle, which is going to help all the other teams. But for you, you already have your rules before coming to the game. Do you think it is going to be well with you? That is where we are now. The EC is not telling Ghanaians the truth. Why am I saying this? You see, from day one, when they started that they want to change this voters register, they started with the machine is bloated, the machine is overstretched, the machine is outmoded, the machine is obsolete. And then we told them that, look, if it is bloated, granted that you are being asked to go and compile a new voters register, people will die and still the machine will be bloated. If it is obsolete, these are software and hardware components put together. And so if it is a hardware component, we can replace. Of course, you have a mobile phone, and thank God you have money. You've bought a new mobile phone. Do you throw your SIM card and your memory card away? You don't. You just insert it in a different machine. So if you think that the machines there are obsolete, you cannot use them, get a new machine, put our data on it. That's it. The EC comes from one point to the other. We petition Asantehene, we petition National House of Chiefs. They will invite them, they will not go because they have taken their stance. Now, EC comes back and tells us that, look, okay, you people are saying it is hardware, it is software. Now, let's go forward. We are going to use your same old voter's ID card. This is what the EC told Ghanaians. And so Ghanaians now said, okay, fine. Once you are going to use our old voter's ID card, okay, let's go with you. Now, you turn around, present CI to Parliament, and you just remove the ID card or the voter's ID card from it. This should even tell you that the EC there themselves, they are confused. And I always say it, and I'll keep saying it, that it is a confused commission. Yes, they are confused because at a point, their own IT consultant, the one who is pushing them to change this whole idea, is coming out with something. And we've been telling them that, look, if you have already chopped some of the money, let's just protect the one that is left. Because there's a saying that but at the end of the day, they are still refusing to accept that fact. And they still want to go ahead and spend millions of taxpayers' money. Look at what happened 2 days ago. You send old machines to registration center claiming they are new machines. Do you think that people have not monitored the old machines that we were using in 2016? And so, you see, this EC, I don't know, the person controlling them. If people say they are like remote control, I support that idea, because at the end of the day, let us all meet so that the information that will come out there will be one. You say no. For you, once you have decided this, nobody will stop you. On the day of voting, is J. Mensah and the husband and the children, are they the only people who are going to vote?
No.
We'll have PNC, we'll have APC, we'll have NDC, we'll have MPP members going to vote. And so if we are telling you that what you are doing is not in the right direction, you say no. Because of no Kofio you've taken. Because of your per diem of about 28 million Ghana cedis at the end of this exercise. And look at something. At the end of the day, they have given Ghanaians a month that they are going to compile the register. And when I listen to them, I just laugh. A whole institution, you just come out and say, we are going to compile a new voters register ending of June. And then we have some Ghanaians clapping for them. Because they said they are going to, June, is it 2021? Is it June 2022? I mean, we are in a season where it is raining. June, July, you are going to compile a new voters register. And as an institution, if you have planned well, and if you are not confused, and you have planned well, and you think that nobody is remoting you from his room, how on earth will you go and compile a register in June, July, and they will ask you, so in this raining season, let's put the COVID-19 aside. In this raining season, what measures have you put in place? You say you leave it to God. And then you come out and Ghanaians are clapping for you because you said you leave it to God.
Are you guys not fighting a lost battle?
What is the lost battle here?
That whether you like it or not, the EC is going ahead with
with this
but they started the piloting.
Master, this piloting, you use 4 hours to register 6 people and you call it a good process. You go to a place and the person enters the name and the name is already on the system and you tell him it's a new machine. My friend, Ghanaians, we need to stand up. We need to rise up. There's this in our national anthem that we will resist the oppressor's rule. We should be guided by that.
Okay.
We should be guided by that because this EC, I tell you, if they go on with this register, there will be chaos.
There will be chaos.
There will be chaos because, look, in the heat of this coronavirus, this temperature gun, people don't have money. People wake up already, they are stressed out. Yeah, and you know, when you are stressed up, you don't have, the temperature goes up. And you just, yes, it doesn't mean they have corona. But when you use your temperature gun on them, and then the temperature shoots up, you tell the person to stand aside. You will now call an ambulance. And you know what will happen?
You end up getting people.
You end up people getting scattering. And when the machine falls down, you will tell me that, I orchestrated it. It is because it was in the midst of confusion. And we are telling you all this.
Confusion.
Massa, when people come and he knows very well that he comes from that town, and he brings in 2 people, and instead of you to allow him to vote to register, people deny them. Do you think they will agree? Secondly, ask yourself, if I come and I have vouched for you, and the two people that I brought to vouch for me, you claim that no, I vouch for you, and then later on somebody challenges me that look, what are you going to do?
No, I'll resist.
And we asked them, they asked them at IPAC meeting, and you know what they said? No. They are going to consult their legal team. And so clearly they are not prepared for this exercise.
Okay.
Somebody is just sitting somewhere and telling them that look, go ahead and do it. No matter what they say, just go ahead, we'll do it. And we are telling you that it is not going to help us. And still
they are doing it. Thank you, Desmond. Amy Farouk in Tamale North says, we will not allow the EC and the MPP to use Ghanaians for their parochial interest. The voters' ID card is a legitimate identification for Ghanaians, and why is the EC rejected it? Hashtag kick out Nana. Tanko Mohammed from Sarah Junction, NDC 007 bench in Tamale, says, good morning to you, Champion KOD and your panelists. It is very obvious that the Supreme Court of Ghana would stop the EC from compiling the new voters register since they sought to use the discretionary powers they have whimsically and capriciously. Clearly the AC is trying to do the bidding of the MPP. God save us. You go on and on and on. John Ali says, Mr. Host, tell the NDC man to stop the allegations about COVID-19 funds. The problem of NDC is for them having a wrong candidate at hand for election 2020. Who determines who a right and a wrong candidate
Maybe
is?
He's one of the beneficiaries of the loot.
Yeah, and I think, I mean, Nana Akufo-Addo was also rejected a few times. Yeah, at the time he was described as not fit for purpose.
Rejected 2 times.
Yeah, so you cannot say that. I think that Kokuma Uzi says, good morning to you all. Alhaji, I like your hat. Can you please organize one for me? Thanks. Calling from Poland. He sent a message from Poland. He said,
Poland?
Yeah, Poland.
Wow.
He says he likes your hat. He appears mature too. So, Ni Ajay no lie. Okay, Lejokuku. The unsuccessful and failed piloting exercise recently conducted by Jemensa is a bad omen strictly to caution her to take a clue from. But as law-abiding citizens as we are, we're waiting patiently for the judgment from our apex court of the land to know the way forward. Regards to Honorable Ben Ayiku, our MP in waiting for Lejokuku constituency. Good morning. Good morning, sir. Yiram Bon Felix says, Kwame, please help me ask this current government whether they truly campaign on the back of integrity and honesty. Proverb 22:22 said, don't rob the just because you can and exploit the needy in court. Exactly what the government is doing. The fear of God is absent in this numeric heads. God, good morning. Praise God from Talisi. Kuku Rex says, this MP government dear, oh, Debbie. A palm store government pow. Adam Abdul Fatah, good morning, greetings, KOD to you. You said greetings to our indefatigable member of parliament for Sagnarigu. You will surely return to parliament. This government is full of miscreants. Information minister got it wrong. Is he saying that the food distribution is still ongoing, or he is afraid of accountability? Humadu Sichofe, good morning, Pan African Television. Good morning. Kuku Rek, I think I've read your message. Charles Namin Asamake says that all eligible voters must be registered. Nobody must be denied the right. If not, then no new register. Is this too much the NDC is calling for? But what I can assure the MPP and their EC is that no matter what they do, God will surely speak for John Dramani Mahama. Kotoka Gameli says, good morning to KOD and to all your panelists, especially Comrade ABA Fuseni. Since day one, I've been saying that the MPP government just want to use this COVID-19 to make money. Very soon, we're going to expose them all. As for EC, God will judge them. Mohammed Razak Gunsi says NDC members should stop this noise and get registered. If not, they will be in opposition for long. Al-Hassan Yakubu says, good morning, bro. ABA Fuseni, keep it up. Watching you live from Doha. We will fight for our rights. Honorable ABA, Brichina Fuseni.
Thank you very much. And I'm grateful for the enviable Brichina title. That is the basis of dignity of every person.
Right.
Kwame, I think that I cannot begin this discussion first and foremost without saluting
Comrade.
I
wrote it here.
Bernard Ambataila Mona.
Yeah.
You see, Kwame, in the life of every nation, there comes times when some people must stand up. People must stand up to ensure that the dignity of the people, the birthright of the people, is not made mortgage on the altar of the selfish interests of a few in government. Kwame, I believe that this is the time that every Ghanaian who cherishes his birthright, and especially for the millions of Ghanaians who stand the risk of being disenfranchised by the tripartite and holy alliance of MPP, NIA, and EC. Kwame, this is the time for them to stand up and fight for their birthright. And in the fight for their birthright, Kwame, obviously, yes, we have espoused legitimate, political, legal, constitutional means to do it. And there are an array, including the total mobilization of the people. Because, Kwame, I've said it here that the sovereign will of the people is the fundamental principle of governance. Why? Kwame, in America, everybody who tunes on to television sees what is happening in America today. Indeed, in asserting the will of the people, when the people were marching to the White House, he ran. They said the man, Donald Trump, in spite of all his bellicose talk, he ran into a bunker. He fled into a bunker. Because the power of the people, Kwame, has no substitute. Nobody can override the power of the people. And so, Kwame, it will come to that if people refuse to reason. If people refuse to do the right thing, the power of the people, when it comes, maybe here they may not even have bunkers to run into. But it is important that nobody takes the people of this country for granted and attempts to usurp their birthright and deny them of their birthright in their own country. So that is why I salute Honorable
Comrade Bernard Mona.
Honorable Comrade Bernard Mona.
Incoming.
Yes. and Kwame, it is not not only was I there, in fact, the entire minority members of parliament.
Yeah.
We braved the rain. We were in the rain.
Yeah.
We marched to the police headquarters. In fact, many drove to the police headquarters, honking their cars, and we came in there. But I was ahead in the rain.
You like to walk.
Yeah. Walked to Parliament.
At that point, I was even calling him.
Conducted interviews, and we spoke about the issues clearly for people to know. So, Kwame, there comes a time when some people must sacrifice. And Kwame, all of us, especially leaders, must be prepared to sacrifice for this country, so that the birthright of the people will not be taken away. Let me add, Kwame, that currently the Supreme Court is seized with that matter. I won't comment on the substance of the matter that is before the court. But that doesn't prevent us from talking about the general issues surrounding the issue of the registration. Kwame, I was just trying to add even to the question that Comrade Nto brought about. And apart from the narration in my giving the case my chief asked me, Kwame, you can go to a town of a population of between 600, 800 to 1,000, Kwame, where no single person has a passport. Kwame, not a single person has a passport in that town. Why? Because passport, if you don't have any intention of traveling, you won't do passport generally.
That's true.
And Kwame, in specific instances in some of my areas in my constituency, Kwame, you can get people 800, 1,000. Kwame, where apart from not having a passport, you can have only about 10 people, or at most 15 people having the card.
The card, even me, I don't have.
Kwame, me sitting here, I don't have the card.
I don't.
And registered long.
So I'm just even saying, even if the do a census are here, how many of us have the card? You find it. But Kwame, so imagine, Kwame, 800 people come and only 10 people have the card. So imagine you open, the day of registration comes, you open the police station, and 800 people come to the place to come and register. The first 200 people who are in the queue, Kwame, you tell them that they don't have card, they don't have passport. They should go home, they can't register. What do you think will happen at the police station? You see, so sometimes you see common sense. That's why people say that common sense.
It's common, but it's not common to common people.
Because common sense will tell you that you are walking into a chaotic situation. Kwame, when they tell you to demonstrate your bravery by asking you to go and arrest a ferocious, angry lion with your bare hands, it's not bravery, it's foolhardiness. The lion will chop you. you are not demonstrating any bravery. If they ask you to go and assemble 800 people, when only about 5 or 10 of them have the card, and they tell you to go and register them and you go there, it's foolhardiness. You are going to tell all the other 790 people or so to go home. You are not going to register them. Can you imagine the situation you have on your hands? I mean, these are the commonsensical issues that we are raising. And I've been asking that question every day. From one election area to another election, Kwame, our interest is to add on to the register. Apart from what the Constitution says that the register, we have one register. You can only revise that register. So in the revision of that register, we should be adding on. Because why? Apart from the few deductions about those who are dead. And those who are born are more than those who are dead. By our census that we've been having, that's why population is growing. Otherwise, if we are dying more than we are born people, then it means that our population should be declining.
Yeah.
But if our population is rising, it simply tells us that more births than deaths.
True.
Okay? So if we have more births than deaths, we should be adding those who are getting to 18 every year. Every year, more people graduate into the 18 plus. And the constitution of this republic makes only 3 conditions. 1, you should be a Ghanaian citizen. 2, you should be 80 years and above. And 3, of sound mind.
Yeah.
So maybe unless somebody, because me, I'm 18 and above. I'm a Ghanaian. My great-grandfathers and my ancestors, since the 1st century, even since when time was kept, have been at their place. Okay? So I wonder who can look me, yes, standing in the face and tell me I'm not a Ghanaian. So I don't have Ghana card. So because of that, I'm not a Ghanaian. You can look me in the face and call me a non-Ghanaian. If you can plant milled corn, we shall see how it will germinate. So Kwame, it's a futile effort. Let me take the opportunity, Kwame, again to salute President Rawlings, President Kufuor, for the statesmanship they have exhibited in this matter. Because Kwame, they have both made it clear that no single Ghanaian must be disenfranchised, that no attempt must be made through the institution of some bogus regulations to take away the birthright of some Ghanaians, and that every Ghanaian, in consonance with his exercise of its inalienable fundamental human rights and freedoms, must be allowed to register and to vote, because that is the birthright, that is the constitutional right of the Ghanaian, and no attempt must be made to take it away. I salute them for coming out to say it, and those who are recalcitrant and have developed stiff necks and don't want to listen must be worried. Kwame, the fly that is impervious to advice will follow the corpse into the grave. Because after the corpse, that is where it belongs. But the fly doesn't belong there. They will bury you with the corpse. So they must open their ears and listen to the voices of wisdom of this. Kwame, today I want to call for the arrest of Madam Jimesa. She should be arrested and dealt with according to the law. Kwame, why am I saying so? The exercises, the parliamentary exercises that you went to do, under what law did she do it? Kwame,
that's another thing.
Constitutional Instrument 191 that is currently before Parliament.
192, yeah.
Has not matured.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Kwame, it is only a day before yesterday that the Committee on Subsidiary Legislation in Parliament even voted. It has not even come before the plenary. For all of us, Kwame, some of us were spoiling for the debate on the House, on the floor. They are yet to bring the matter on the floor for us to debate, and the House will take a resolution on the matter. It has not been done. So it is no law. So where did she derive her power from to go and pilot the thing on the basis of the card and the passport? As we speak today, Kwame, the law is still on the previous regulation, which recognized the ID card. The voter ID card is still the recognized document today.
Are you going to lodge a formal complaint?
So you go there, and people who have the voter ID card were prevented from it. We're preventing people from lawfully exercising their right under the law. And you see the kind of law she has violated.
Are you going to lodge a formal complaint?
Kwame, this must be done. And I can indicate to you, it will be done. That she has brazenly, willfully and callously violated the law and must be dealt with. She's not above the laws of this country. And the commissioners of the ECR, they are not above the laws of this country. Where did they derive the power from to go and do what they did? Where is the law?
It's true.
I'm not a lawyer, but there are certain many aspects of the law. It's common sense. It's commonsensical enough to know that no such law exists as we speak. And the EC cannot arrogate to itself the right to do anything that is not in conformity with the law. They cannot. They are subject of the law. They are a creature of statute. They are a creature of law. And the rule of law indicates that government must be seen to be acting in conformity with the law. Government is not above the law and must be seen to be acting in conformity with the law. Under which law did the EC and Madam Jimita derive to do what they did? And also in the balloting process to prevent those who had the legitimate voters register, as voter ID card. Today, as we speak, the voter ID card is a legitimate document.
Yeah.
Kwame, that is why when you take your voter ID card to the bank, they recognize it. Today, just walk into the bank and they ask you for identification, produce your voter ID card. It will be recognized as a legitimate document. But Madam Jimmy says it is not a legitimate document. So she is legislating. When did she become a legislator? Well, has she ever stood even assemblyman elections? Where did she die? Is she a member of parliament? Has she come to parliament with any such regulations?
You are really opening my eye to some very
so many people are lawyers.
Aspect of
So I am throwing it out there. Ghanaians must wake up and demand that this woman must be dealt with. This is a crass infringement of the law. And it must not be allowed to happen. But this is what they want to do in that exercise. Because the current CI instrument, and let me make it clear, even she was so incompetent in crafting the CI. This CI which is there was the third CI. The first two CIs were thrown away by Parliament because it was so incompetently crafted by her and her bosom friend Bossman, who both have been brought to do a hatchet job. So that is what is happening. Kwame. So I am calling for compliance with the law. We are a law and order society. People must not be allowed to act so capriciously. Kwame, you remember, this was the same woman who, in the face of a court order, a legitimate court order sought by Honorable Sam George, an injunction restraining her and her outfit from going ahead with the workshop, she disregarded it. What is the name of that hotel? Escape Hotel.
Airport.
And went and assembled dozens of people, multitudes of people at the place, even in violation of the COVID-19 regulations, protocols that prevent the gathering of mass people. She did it. So she violated the law in a number of material respects. And so she walked away because she thinks she has the protection of this government because of the job that she has been asked to come and do for the government. So she thinks she can violate the law with impunity and get away. That is why all these things are happening. Kwame, that must not be allowed to go on. Kwame, apart from the brazen violation of the law, she has shown such levels of capriciousness, haughtiness, arrogance, disrespect for important institutions of state. Kwame, I'm sure you will no doubt recall that you heard the reaction of the Electoral Commission when the National House of Chiefs invited them to come and do a presentation so that members of the House of Chiefs will be apprised, so that if you have some concerns, they can raise it there. She treated the House of Chiefs with contempt. He has not had any listen to even said they are on tour. They don't have time.
Yeah,
my brother, you don't have time to do what? What time do you have on your hands to do what? Kwame, this, for God's sake, these are the custodians of our heritage, our custom, our traditions, and they are our fathers. Kwame, can you imagine you treat a chief with contempt when the registration or some other matters are about to start? When you go first, you will go and pay obeisance to the chief. Ally?
Yeah. Yep.
Can you strip me naked in public and bring me inside and clothe me? Having treated these chiefs with such levels of contempt publicly, can you go back when you are going into their various communities to say you are coming there to greet Nananum, Nanama, Tobiwo, Mamaga? after treating them to such levels of contempt, can you go back to them and say that you are coming there to pay respect to them when the exercise is about to commence or you need their support? Kwame, and what does it take for the Electoral Commission to go and brief Nananum and Nanama in the House of Chiefs? Kwame, I hear Nana Asantehene Otufor, for whom I have a lot of respect for. After some presentations have been made, they are supposed to go invite them to come to the Asanteman Council and make. I will see whether that one they will turn it down again. If you think your head is strong, go and put it on the road and see whether an articulator will pass by and nothing will happen to you. Kwame.
Yes, my boy.
So this level of arrogance, and that is how they are treating people, because they think that they have the support of the state authority. Can't you see the kind of dirty job that he's doing? So you think that he has the support of state power and authority. And that's why, for instance, in the case where the injunction was supposed to apply, they got national security to go and support a lawless act where they were brazenly violating the law. They could get national security to come and protect them, to get police to come there and protect them. Because today she says he has FPUs and armored cars guarding her in the house. Kwame, if you are a free citizen working and all of a sudden armored cars are guarding you, Kwame, you should tell yourself that, hey, you are no longer yourself. It should tell you that you have lost confidence. You have lost the confidence of the good people of this country who hitherto you could mingle with. Kwame, I'm a free citizen today. Kwame, I can get up and go to Mamobi and walk there and come back home. I lie. Let her go to Mamobi. So it should tell you something. That you are doing something wrong. There's something wrong with you. Where all of a sudden you have to mobilize a garrison to guard you. There's something wrong with you. So you should look at their conduct. Where today even Nananum are being treated with such levels of disrespect. As I said, how does it take you to go and brief the National House of Chiefs? Just because you have this is the National House of Chiefs have added their voices to the growing list of numbers. Kwame, so many people in the country now, community leaders, civil society organizations, CSOs, religious leaders. Kwame, even the Christian Council, I saw a statement reportedly coming from the council indicating that they should get the, instead of going solo as the Electoral Commission is trying to do, they should get more consensus and talk with the various political parties, more engagement with the political parties in order to arrive at an amicable solution. So everybody is now telling you to reason. What is wrong with this stiff-necked, spineless Electoral Commission? They don't want to listen to anybody. So this Yentiobia policy they are adopting, stance they are adopting.
Right.
When everybody says Yentiobia,
okay.
But Kwame,
yes, sir.
It's very, very important.
Conclude for me.
In the so-called piloting that they did, and I'm sure that you can see that even from information that is being gleaned, they indicated that sometimes it took up to about 25 to 30 minutes. Sometimes to be able to get one person. And Kwame, there's a fundamental question that I want to ask.
Please.
The equipment that the Electoral Commission used, was it the equipment that they bought, or they say they are buying, or they are the old biometric devices that were fitted?
Yeah, I think this one touched on it. Yeah.
Okay. Because if you have widely condemned the old biometric devices as being useless, outdated, obsolete, and not fit for use, why didn't you bring a new equipment to come and do the exercise?
Because they are not in.
So they are not in because that speaks to the competence of the Electoral Commission. They are not in. You are carrying out an exercise saying you are going to use the new equipment you buy. They are not in, and you are carrying out the exercise. So you see, that's what I'm telling that these people,
they are confused.
You see, Kwame, sometimes you lack words to describe them. You have condemned the old DVRs. Throw them away. Bring the ones who say are efficient and competent for you to do the job. They are not in, and you are going ahead with an exercise. What does this speak to your level of rationality? Kwame, look at these people. How do you classify them? It's very difficult to find words.
Oh, well, Honorable.
Kwame.
Conclude for me. Let me read a few of the messages.
You see, Kwame, it's nauseating. You see, all of us, Kwame, and I listened to Kobre Kwesi Pratt and others, and I sympathize with what he said. Because he said that, look, all those of especially them, and I've said that in every stage of your national life, there must be people who must come out to sacrifice. Yeah. A lot of them put their lives on the line, sacrifice for us to have the democracy that we have today. And so we should not let anybody with a selfish agenda and selfish motive, with mindless, disrespectful arrogance, come and treat us and compromise our democracy. We should not allow that to happen. This democracy means so much to all of us, Kwame. Right. Because we as Ghanaians, we have nowhere to go. Okay. We want the peace, order, and stability of the country, giving us the right to be born in Ghana. And that one, you want to say we are not Ghanaians. Our birthright to exercise our democratic free will right to register and to vote, that one too, you want to take it away by the institution of a regulation that says if you don't have a Ghana card, you don't have a passport, you are not a Ghanaian. Is that the issue at stake?
Yeah.
So Kwame,
thank you, Honorable.
I say for without any iota of hesitation. I want to call on all well-meaning Ghanaians. Because even now the international community, all these other people are speaking. They are all talking and indicating that the way we are going, we are heading towards this. Kwame, I've said that, you see, if you come and you are going to Kumasi and you go to board a bus, and when you are entering the bus, you see the driver reeking of alcohol. And even while his head is still on the steer, you see that he's sleeping all the time. Then when he starts, Kwame, he drives so recklessly in disregard of the rules that you say that, look, the way this driver is driving, if you are not careful, we won't get anywhere, we'll get accident. Kwame, before you get to Isawam, you get accident. Will they say you, Kwame, who said that this driver, the way I said it, he will get accident?
No. This is so,
you, Kwame, who caused the accident or the driver?
The driver did. The recklessness of the driver.
So you see what
created that.
The invitation of Bernard Mona and others means. That he tells you that, look, the way we are going, this, that, we are running into this, that. And when we run into this, that, this is the result that we get. And the person who is holding the steer and steering the affairs and driving us into that ditch
hasn't been invited.
Has been invited to say that your action is going to cause us this. The person who says it is invited. You see the kind of reasoning that we have. That's what I say. In this country, it's very difficult.
Thank you, Honorable Kwame. I know you have a lot of things to say, but because of time.
You see, Kwame, when the house has fallen, you don't ask if the
roof is standing. Kyo, good morning to you. Issues like the SC court. I didn't see any MPP communication on any platform today. So the government is trying to massage things in the court. Well, that's your opinion. NDC should be vigilant, you say. I am with you, senior bro, A.B.A. Fuseni. All right. This one says, Sampion, please greet Honorable A.B.A. Fuseni for me. This one also says, oh, where is it? Okay. Let me read a few of them because I have so many text messages actually. Good morning to you, Kwame. In fact, I'm not happy with the way Pan-African TV repeat the Good Morning Africa show in the night. We, those who are workers, watch it after we close work. And the station will take off and be showing some international things.
But they repeat it in the night so that he can watch it.
Yeah, but he says that the time that we repeat it...
it's late.
No, I mean, because they have to take the international feed from Telesu.
Okay.
So I'm sure, like, he doesn't finish. The show doesn't end.
Okay.
That's his problem. Razak in Tamale, we'll see what we can do about it. But it's not my call. My boss...
Yeah, but you are in charge, so here you are in charge of
we'll see what to do. Yes. Good morning to you, Kwame. Please, let's get certain things straight. In the Abu Ramadan versus EC case before the Supreme Court, the then Chief Justice, Her Ladyship, Georgina Wood, said the National Voters ID card is the presumptive legal evidence in confirming one's citizenship. In law, there is something we call, judicial precedence, which cannot be overlooked in futuristic cases with historical judgment. Let's be careful. Greetings to Alaji Ebi Hussein. Tell him I need his personal number. This one is from Professor in Kumasi. Honorable's number there, he will definitely give it out. Good morning to you, Kwame. Why does the EC want to disenfranchise some Ghanaians? Madam Jemensa should be reminded that if there is conflict, women and children will suffer the more. Kwame, allow ABA Fuseni to speak. Some of us are enjoying what he's saying, and I wish you allow him one-on-one on your show concerning the EC. I think I'll do that next week, man. Can I get him? Will you be available on Monday next week, 7 to 8?
Inshallah.
Okay. So we'll do one-on-one. I am in Ghana. I was in Ghana before Akufo-Addo was born. If I don't get the card to vote, I'm not a Ghanaian. And which country will the government ask me to go to? All right. This one also says that after the close of work, the station will take off and be showing international news. Okay, that's what Razak is saying. I wanted us to spend like a proper time on it, but because our program comes,
2 minutes.
It's 10 o'clock already.
Important. Today is Friday. I was supposed
Okay,
to
2 minutes. 2 minutes for Honorable.
You see, Kwame, the issue of relaxation of the COVID-19 restrictions. Kwame, I've said that you must have heard before you can chew corn. You must exist before you can do some other things. And that's why even in the relaxation of restrictions, governments are very, very, very restrained. And they take steps to make sure that in the event that even they do a little bit of relaxation and then something comes up again, they immediately have the option to recall. Kwame, you can recall France and other places where they open schools, reopen schools, and just after a few days, cases spike and they immediately had to close again. So Kwame, I see the manner in which this government is handling this is so incompetently handled. Kwame, we were told that His Excellency the President had been in consultation with major stakeholders, to see how some of those restrictions will be relaxed, including religious bodies. Kwame, so if it is true consultation with religious bodies and others, and these measures have been announced, look at the total manner in which religious bodies are rejecting the current levels of measures the government has instituted. Almost all of them, Kwame, they say we won't go to church. The chief imams has just issued a statement. No mosque should open. Today is Friday, Kwame. I was supposed to go to mosque on Friday. I'm here. It has been categorically and flatly rejected.
Kwame, I appreciate you for taking the time. Thank you.
But the issue is that who are you to determine the number of hours?
You are also going to be able to letter. You have to gag us.
It's incredible. I was surprised when I heard that Christians should just do 1 hour in church. Who are you to determine
how many hours God can use?
In Islam, I have never heard anything that one Muslim, one mat. I have never heard anything like that.
And you see,
no, you see,
one Muslim, one mat.
Haven't you heard one village, one
you
now?
see, no.
So one Muslim, one mat.
And you see, there's restrictions.
It's an aberration of Islam.
Yes, who will be in church, but there's no restrictions on the number of people who will be in the queue to go and register. That should even tell you that. I mean, they are confused.
The lifting was not done on the basis of all the consultation of all the religious bodies. It was to further the political interests of the NPP and Anapafado.
Thank you very much, Honorable Ibufsini. Thank you. And thank you to you, my brother Desmond. I cannot thank you enough for watching today's edition of Good Morning Africa. My name again is Kwame Owusu. So let me say a special happy birthday going out to you, Ewanam. Today is your birthday. I wish you all the best. God's blessings. Tonight you're going to have a ball in your house. Definitely. We're going to make sure that there's social distancing. So, no sweat. I'll be also in Takrady this weekend. So, if you're in Tadi, make sure you look out for me. And a special thank you to my partners and sponsors, Akosomo Textiles Limited, bringing fabric to life, and also NASCO, your home of quality product, and Ridge Royal Hotel. Ridge Royal Hotel, the best hotel in the whole of Ghana.
In fact, Kwame, I will not do justice. Yesterday, I think the people in the northern region conferred another title on Honorable Bernard Bona.
Eh?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Yes.
Oh, so Bernard is in Tamale.
Yes, he's in Tamale.
That's why I didn't invite for African team.
He's in
He would
Tamale.
have been there.
Yes.
Bernard, I salute you.
It tells you that people on the ground are recognizing the good work.
Thank you very much. And Bernard, congratulations again. When you come, we'll properly acknowledge and make sure that the viewers are also in the know. Thank you very much for watching today's edition of Good Morning Africa. My name is Kwame Owusu. So up next is a repeat of The Couch with Amma Pratt, who interviewed Honorable Muntaka, who is the minority deputy chief whip. Yes, of minority chief whip. I'll see you guys on Monday. But tomorrow, is Alaji and Alaji with Sena Nombo, together with the wonderful persons who will be featuring on the show. I'll see you guys on Monday. Thanks a lot. All